Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is episode 5 of 10's Hip Hop Unfiltered. It's your boy Zoe. I got a couple of homies with me, of course. Kennawayne, as always. Got my boy Henny, the God Man, and then we have a special guest with us today, crystallljade. How you feeling, ma'am?
I'm feeling really good. I'm excited.
Fellas, how are y'all?
I'm disappointed I'm not the prettiest one on the podcast this week. So
How this how I am. Rough week right here.
New looks for everybody today. You know what I mean? I have a real shirt on today with a collar. That's a change. I haven't worn a shirt that resembles anything real in a couple weeks. Either way, let's get to it. Right before we do though, man, let's give the people a little bit of insight, man. Crystal, tell us a little about yourself. Some of your music taste, shit like that.
Okay. My name's Crystal. A little bit of what I listen to. I listen to mostly like rap, R&B. So Janae Aiko for sure, Arlena, Streamville, all of TDE artists. That's like, Anderson .Paak. Anderson .Paak's one of my favorites. Uncle Sego. Who else we got? I listen to Doja, Meg Thee Stallion. So,
and then you are an avid concert goer too, right?
Dude, yes, that's what's killing me right now so much with everything going on is like I can't go anywhere. So I'm used to going to shows like religiously, like I'm on it all the time. I literally have an app that like will keep me updated with artists that come into town or even in Dallas. Like I'll go, I do not care.
So you're chomping at the bit, ready for the shit to open back up.
Yeah.
It's okay. Yeah. You'll be getting, you'll be back with the COVID heads in no time. Shout out to the shirt too. Love the shirt. I see the Tyler Creator.
Oh, shit, Tyler the Creator. I didn't even mention him. Tyler Creator. Yes.
It's all right.
Just speaks for itself.
Man, as we always do at this time, we have our throwback album for the week today. In a special themed episode, we do have the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, her 1998 debut album. This week we went ahead, took a look back, did some listens, and we just kind of want to go over, the album's impact, how it sounds today. This was really her only solo body of work. And so, it was definitely one of her critically acclaimed projects. So let's start with you, Crystal. Let us know what you think about the album, some thoughts at how it fits into today, replay value, things like that.
Oh, shit. I feel like you're going to be really disappointed to know that I think this past week was like the very first time I listened to the album straight through. Like I've heard bits and pieces of it, but this was like the first time that I actually listened to it. I listened to it twice straight through. And I was surprised to hear that there were some, like songs that people would sample, or not songs, but like some beats that people sampled using her music. I liked it. I like her voice. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't know really if it's something that I'm like, I have to really find music that is listenable for me. Like, can I really vibe with this in the car? Can I listen to it? It is one of those albums where I'm like, okay, this is really chill, mellow, like I could listen to it. But I don't know if I'm gonna go out of my way to like keep up with that artist. Like if she was still making music right now, like I don't know if I would like to.
And we're all deeply.
That's just me being honest. No, I know, but I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest. Like
that's a fair critique.
What I will say good, because I feel like I just like dumped all this shit out. What I will say that was good about it is I like that she's very personal. Like her lyrics, I'm big on like focusing on artists' lyrics and like their album. Like I listen to it straight through because I feel like they put it like that for a reason. Mm-hmm. So like I listen to it straight through. I like that in the album. As far as like the beat, I like her acapella, like her voice alone. Like I listened to some acoustics from her and I was like, man, dude, she can really sing. But as far as like the sound that was in it, I think I like specific songs in there, but like handpicked. Like I'm not gonna like listen to every single song. You know what I mean?
I feel you. No, definitely fair points and, fair criticism. And I think one of the things, regardless of how an album is like heralded as, with critical acclaim, I think everything is fair criticism and everybody has the right to, like, dislike, regardless of an album status, as it may be. But Kennawayne, man, tell us, a little bit how you feel about the album. It's been a little over 20 years now.
Yeah, man. It's funny. Everybody always asks me about this album because I write poetry, and they're like, "This is what you write to," and I'm like, "No, I listen to trap music." Doesn't make sense to them. Honestly, though, I love the album. It's probably one of the most chill hip hop albums ever. And sometimes I actually struggle with calling it a hip hop album because a lot of people do, and I see it more as like an R&B album. And I see her with the Fugees as more hip hop, and I mess with them a lot more. I give the album 8 out of 10. I'm not gonna sit here and cap and say I regularly listen to it. I listen to the songs like Doo Wop once in a while. Everything's Everything. Can't Take My Eyes Off You. But I will say, Miss Hill be hitting them motherfucking notes. I swear, I was in the shower when the Zion came on. My ass was like, and I can't sing. I ain't gonna sit here and cap. But shit, that day, boy, I thought I was Miss Hill my goddamn self. She had me feel like I was in Sister Act. I could hit that high note. But nah, I mean, it's a dope ass album. Like Crystal said, a lot of people sample a lot of songs off of her. A lot of people missed her when she kind of went away from the hip hop scene. And I think she came back. What was it? Black Panther? I think it was the first time she's come back in a while. Mm-hmm. She's dope. I think everybody will say that. But I'm not gonna sit here and say, hey man, I listened to that last week.
Yeah.
I'll listen to the songs all the time. That thing, I'll be, ooh, but as for the album, you're never going to let me just driving around listening to Lauryn Hill. And if you catch me, beat my ass.
Hey, noted. Hen Dog, man, let us give us a little insight on how you feel about the album, bro.
Bad. So you want the good or the bad first?
Well, I mean, I'm assuming this ain't the first time you've heard it, so...
At all. So we'll go straight into the bad. Nigga used to hear this shit every Saturday morning to do fucking chores to clean the whole goddamn house. Goddamn. Every damn morning. On top of that, this bitch is as long as a goddamn Marvel movie for one. Each damn track almost 6 minutes. That shit pissed me off. That's the bad. I'm a chill. But it do got some classes on here. It starts off pretty hard. I feel it's more top heavy on her album. Like it came like out the gate slapping, like Lost Ones, X Factor to Zion. Bro, if I'm Zion Williams, that's in my playlist, nigga.
Every time.
That whole with Carlos Santana, fire. Doo Wop, that shit was on 2K. So every nigga didn't heard that. I don't care if you don't even listen to Lauryn. You've been singing that shit because you play 2K. Other than that, it's not my cup of tea of music I listen to every day. It was more hip hop than R&B, I feel, just because of the beats that were produced by it. But overall, I'll give it like a 7 out of 10, probably. Like it's a classic album, but I'm just not a R&B type nigga at the moment. Life is rough right now, like my hair, so nigga going through it.
Hey, I thought you were going with some type of slave revolt this week, given all the goddamn recent
I'm about to go protest, bro.
Shit. Okay, he on his slave shit today.
I'm waiting on the next Target spot, man.
He on his field nigga shit.
Henny Unchained, nigga.
Yeah. Man, nah, I ain't gonna hold y'all, man. I mean, this is one of the albums that I do, I think there's a certain nostalgic element for it that probably holds a place in my heart more than anything with it. Just like Henny said, I can remember, Saturdays and, Sundays, my mom playing the album, wearing it out, man.
It
the
smells of mop water,
radio. I mean, personally, my favorite project with Lauryn Hill on it is probably the score with the Fugees. I do like the rapper side of Lauryn Hill a little bit more, but I mean, I think this is a hell of a body of work. I do think it often gets ranked, and I'm not saying just alone, but I think it gets ranked so highly a lot of times because this is her only solo album. So, I mean, this is the only body that we have to judge her by. It's kind of one of those things where you drop a classic, you don't drop anything else. So I do think she actually suffers a little bit for that because we didn't get to see if, she could follow up with, something equally as good. But I mean, it's impossible to really talk about this album without, even just thinking about the impact that it's had on hip hop and how many huge songs have sampled this songs from this album. I mean, just a couple years back, we had Drake sample, what was it, X Factor on Nice for What? And I mean, that song went quintuple, quadruples, and tuple platinum. So I mean, this album, just when you go and look at even like who sampled, you will just see almost every song on this album has been featured in some sort of album or tape since then. And I think that speaks volumes just about its impact overall, and kind of its lasting legacy, you know, throughout hip hop. But overall, I mean, like you guys said, it's not an album that I would necessarily like, you know, bang every day, but it's definitely one of the more soulful, great written. You know, she touches on relationships, touches on, you know, her pregnancy at the time, and just a lot of common themes in life. So I think that it's kind of an ageless album. I give it a 9 out of 10. You know, I think it's an almost flawless piece of work. I love it. I think it still holds a lot of weight today. It's just not something that I listen to necessarily all the time, just with how much music there is out here, but definitely, you know, huge.
I had a quick question. You heard it for the first time. What would you give it out of 10? You heard it twice.
Ooh, I would say 6 or 7 out of 10. Because I have been, like, I listened to it twice straight through. And like you said, like, the songs are really long. So I was like, nah, dude. But it's not bad. Honestly, I didn't know that she rapped. Like, I honestly thought she was just a singer. And I was like, why is this categorized in hip hop? And then I looked it up, like, oh, shit. Like, okay. And I did listen to a little bit of the, how do you pronounce it? Fugees?
Yeah.
Fugees.
Okay, Fugees. I listened to a little bit of their music. I saw some music videos. I like that better. I agree with you, though, on that. Than the actual,
just like her solo shit. Yeah. Okay. Nah, fair point.
And I only say 6 out of 10 because I'm like, will I listen to this? And I don't have that you guys have, like the nostalgia with it, because I feel like when you grow up listening to shit,
you don't want that.
It's different.
No,
dude,
not that part of
like,
it.
It's like, damn, you know, I feel different. Like if I grew up with some music, I'm like, man, I really like this. Like for me, it's like freestyle that I grew up with, and people are like, dude, what the fuck is this? Like this doesn't even sound like legit music.
No, and that's
what I grew up with. Like that's what I love.
That's a great point, because I think people forget, like, you know, sometimes because an album is considered classic, like you feel, or you're made to feel like you have to go back and say that it's like a classic because we say it's a classic. Whereas, you know, when you're experiencing something for the first time, you're young, you know, you listen to it as you should listen to it as it comes, you know, not really put the stipulations that anybody else has put on it. So I actually think that's a refreshing take, you know what I mean? But I mean, as we kind of move even just off from that topic, one of the things that we've kind of noticed with like Lauryn Hill, she was one of the most successful with kind of blending that neo soul R&B kind of mixed with hip hop, and we see that super popular and prevalent in today's you know, industry, where we have like, you know, St. John, Tory Lanez, Drake, hell, you know, and a ton of other artists that kind of do that. You know, I personally do like an artist that can kind of, you know, show that balance. Do you guys feel like the hip hop side kind of overtakes the R&B, that it influences that? Do you feel like R&B still holds, you know, weight in today's game, or that you kind of have to have that hip hop element in there to be super successful, just beyond like a certain point, you know? Let's start with my boy Kennawayne, man.
That's a good question, man. I think Drake really revolutionized the R&B singing rapper type thing. Then it kind of transitioned to Tory Lanez and all that. But I know that R&B has always wanted to do like rap. You know, you got Chris Brown, who actually can rap better than a lot of people. Even back in the day, it was all about hip hop. Let's implement R&B into it. And I think now rappers are trying to be more like singers, and a lot of them get gripe for it. But I mean, I think it's cool. St. John's probably one of my favorite current rappers right now, and it's the sound that just sounds different. Like it brings that nostalgia of like 90s R&B back, but it blends in like a new refreshing take. So it's not the same old mumble rappers, trap rap, what we're used to. So I really think that it's more of, it used to be R&B was implemented into rap, and I think we're now rap's being more implemented in R&B because we don't have those prevalent R&B singers like R. Kelly back in the day, Usher, there's nobody that's just huge. The biggest person I think of today, like that's fresh and new, is like Brent Faiyaz. Like that's the only one I can think of.
And he's not
just,
super even big in the
industry. Yeah, he's not
like
huge. And that's the thing. It's like we don't have somebody that can just take over rap and make it, you know what I'm saying? So we have to implement rap into R&B today because we don't have any R&B stars. And that's just how I feel about it.
Yeah, that's a fact. A lot of great artists, not necessarily stars. Crystal, man, you know, give us your thoughts.
Oh, okay. So I think honestly, just with today, I would say it seems like maybe it's just artists that I listen to. Like I listen to a lot of like Kehlani. I listen to a lot of Masego. It seems like rap is being more implemented into like R&B. I feel like that's like, I don't know if it's like a wave or what it is exactly. I feel like that's what makes people want to listen to it. It's like, oh, this is dope, or this is cool. Like, man, like she has bars. Like Kehlani, her new album, like she can sing and everything. Dude, yeah, she can sing, but like a lot of her songs, like it's not just flat out just singing. Like she does. I'm like, damn, dude, I didn't know she could. You know, she has a little bit of bars in there.
Yeah, that's an interesting point too, because it feels like you kind of have to do that as an R&B artist, like throw a few bars in there just to keep that status level, you know?
Yeah, and then also too, like you have to keep in mind, I feel like a lot of people like that trap sound, or like they need something that they can like really like bump in the car. They like that bass, they like that sound. And so like with R&B, like not a lot of people could just get away with only sticking to singing and just like mellow beats. Like not a lot of people really give that type of music the time of day. Like honestly, I love Daniel Caesar. That's like one of my favorite artists.
Hey.
I saw him live. He saw me. I was like, yo. But
that's true R&B. That's true R&B.
He saw me, but not. Yeah, no, he's real R&B. But people are like, man, his music's too slow, or like I can't listen to this in the car, or I can't really. He has a good voice, but it's just like they're not gonna actually listen to it. And I feel like that's just what it is. So it's like if you're gonna be in R&B, if you're gonna be in this industry, like you just have to meet that. You know what I mean? So,
gotta rap a little bit.
It's kind of yeah. It's not just flat out R&B, unless it's like Masego. I think his is more like jazz R&B sound.
Yeah, there's a few guys like you said that really kind of stick to that vein, and Daniel Caesar is probably one of the more prominent artists that I mean, when I want some real fucking R&B, that's where I'm going. Japanese Denim's one of my favorite tracks of forever. You know what I mean? So I definitely feel you there. Henny, man, what do you feel about R&B and, you know, rap in today's game? You feel like an R&B
go
artist
ahead and give y'all the nigga take. Nah, kind of what Chris was getting into. That was something I was gonna talk about. Like as far as like R&B, like having like an actual some bars put to it to keep like rap attention basically, or like some sound, like something you can listen to. Like I listen to a lot of trap R&B. I know that ain't a genre, but I made that shit up. YNW Melly, Trippy, Juice WRLD. That's my trap R&B right there. So I listen to a lot of them. They singing on the tracks and shit. Another take, like Rod. I can't mess with Rod Wave. I know he cold, but I can only mess with like a couple of his tracks. Like he be going too deep. Like he be like on just some other simp type shit. Like he be going too far. Like I'm not like I'm a dark skinned
nigga. The production on his shit sounds the same on a lot too, bro. Like I don't know why some of his songs be sound the same.
I know people be loving Rod, but I just had to get that out there. That has nothing to do with this topic. I just had to say that. But yeah, as far as like R&B, I do feel like you do have to have some sort of rap in there to get the attention, since like hip hop is more big than R&B. Like even when you hear it on the radios, they're like, yeah, we play hip hop and R&B. They say hip hop first. They make sure you know we're playing hip hop, and then we'll throw some R&B in there.
Yeah, we'll throw some good vocals in there.
We'll throw something in there, like a song or two. But yeah. I mean, we ain't got nobody big really for R&B. Like Drake is like the main one, like you said. Drake, Tory, Saint. You really don't hear
female artists though. I feel like
I think you can get away with it more if you're a female artist for sure.
Female artist, that is a good point.
Jhené Aiko's big. Well, okay, then let's touch on that then. I mean, how big is Jhené Aiko really?
She's kind of small, like her body. but she's still like.
This nigga said.
Oh my god.
I mean, she probably like a size 1 or
she's
2.
with Big Sean.
Yeah, I mean, she's still hypeable.
But I mean, you know, on a commercial level, I mean, obviously, I think we all have great respect for a lover. She's fine as hell too. That don't hurt. But like, just if we, you know, if we're talking about that commercial success, the Drakes, the Big Seans, the Kanyes, where they rank, I feel like Jhené Aiko is still in a pocket. You know what I mean? Like, I think she's capable of doing big numbers for her, but she's not. I mean, can she do 100,000 the first week? Maybe, probably. You know,
She pull a Rihanna though.
You know,
you're like, no.
And again, Rihanna has a lot of that rap element with it.
Exactly.
I feel like the reason though, I feel like Jhené Aiko, she's a real personal artist. And like a lot of her shows too, they're not big venues.
She don't. I
You
was
know
gonna
what I
say
mean?
that she don't promote as much. So
She
don't
doesn't
market.
promote.
Yeah,
so I feel like
that's another thing.
she's not
'Cause
as
she's
big
nice.
as she. No, she has really like there's nothing wrong with her music. I love her music.
But I also feel like
I just-
even Jhené Aiko kind of she dabbles into the rap shit a little bit, into
No,
some
for
of the kind
sure.
of bars.
Yeah, exactly. That's her and Kehlani. I feel like, and her and what is it? Her and Jhené Aiko came out with a new song, and now she's finally putting out some.
It's her and her. For
and-
those people
know
don't
what
know,
you
she's
meant.
talking about an artist. Her.
An artist.
Yes.
She's an
being
R&B
down.
artist,
Sure.
and she also with her. Man, I lost my train of thought. Oh no, Jhené Aiko's now putting out some more music videos, and she's now like a little bit more active on social media. And I think that's what's kind of building it up.
I did.
But she doesn't really promote too much. Like, she doesn't go on big tours. Like, I was supposed to go to her concert this past week, but obviously, like with everything going on, can't go. It's canceled. But it was at a smaller venue. It was at the Tobin Music Center.
Okay, yeah.
So like
There's
all
some
her
parties
shows
over
are really small venues. I feel like if she really wanted to, I don't know if she does that purposely or intentionally, but I feel like if she really wanted to, she could be that big.
She said she likes Summer Walker. She kind of shy.
Yeah. Summer Walker's another dope
How did I
y'all
forget about
did.
Summer
Nah,
Walker?
y'all forgot.
Summer Walker's another
I slipped
dope
it
one.
in there.
I got a question.
So hurt.
Do y'all think Jenny's the new Lauryn Hill? Like, in a sense where
She's
she
one and
makes an
done?
album, she's not huge, she kind of stays away. She's only in the scene when you talk about really Big Sean, and then everybody's waiting for another album. Now, of course, she puts more music out, but like in the sense of today's version of that, the closest thing, because she dabbles in the rap.
That's true.
I say she more like Erica.
Badu.
Yeah.
Badu.
Because everybody want to fuck Erica.
Y'all
Everybody want to
getting
fuck.
dangerous.
Like, he thought I was about to be serious.
I don't like this.
I swear. I know. I was like,
I mean, if you, I wouldn't necessarily say that, but I could see kind of where you're going. She kind of can do a little bit of both. I think the main thing that really separates, and I got to put some respect on Miss Lauryn Hill's name. Lauryn Hill is an MC, like an MC.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason that she held her shit down with the Fugees. Like, she was probably the first or second best lyricist out of that group. So that's the only thing I feel like a lot of these R&B or even these hip hop stars can't fuck with her on the mic as an MC. So I'll say that. When you really think about it though, like you look at some of the top artists, Tory Lanez, like not even top, but just some of the more popular artists, like, you know, YK Osiris, Lil Durk. You start just Roddy Ricch. The one thing that they all have in common is they kind of blur those lines between R&B and hip hop. And I think R&B is kind of used more as a tool now, because I think it goes both ways. Just kind of to like Henny's point where he was saying sometimes, you know, if he's just listening to straight R&B, it's just not for him. You know, you need a little bit of like kind of rap in there to keep the attention. I think it goes both ways, because now we're starting to be to where if I just hear a regular rapper now, sometimes I like it. I like bars, but I'm like, you sound a little bit boring. So now I think it goes both ways, where when you sprinkle a little bit of that R&B
That's when
in
you
there,
see they be getting the females on
Trippie
their
Redd,
tracks.
I
They
can
be
sing
adding the
too.
females in there.
I can carry a melody, I can harmonize. It's like, okay, you know, Roddy Ricch is one of the key examples of that. Lil TJ, Thug, you know, he kind of can carry those different melodies and shit. Future. So I think that it's just as important for a person to incorporate that R&B as it is for, you know, if the other way around. I do think that, this is something that's here to stay. It's very, very, it's been very successful. I mean, you get a wider demographic. One of my favorite albums. Exactly. That Lil Durk, his lyrics are trap raps, but he's spitting them over an R&B vocal, and it just brings that pain a little bit different, and it cuts a little different when you kind of hear it like that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Question though, Zoe. So what is G Herbo trying to do by being off beat? He thought I was gonna have something serious.
Nah, but I think that's an interesting discussion, and I think that's one that could probably go on forever, just with the blending of the sounds, man. We started at the top of the show discussing one of the seminal bodies of work with the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. Like I mentioned a second ago, super, super dope MC as well as a great vocalist. One of the things we've kind of noticed in today's hip hop game is a lot of the bigger female artists are marketed and they're sexualized. We got Meg Thee Stallion, we got Cardi B, Nicki Minaj. Nicki came in the game looking a lot different than she does now, as most of us know. Do you guys feel like it's possible to reach those type of heights as far as like, the Nickis, the Cardis, or even just on the male side, like a Drake type level without being sexualized? Can a female, just make it off bars alone? And if so, what would it take? I feel like this is a perfect opportunity to take advantage of having Crystal on. So let's start with you, Crystal.
All right, cool.
Keep it 1,000.
No, man. Honestly, I feel like I don't know a female rapper that hasn't been sexualized. So it's hard to really say. And I feel like if there was one, it's like they've already set that standard for all these female artists. So it'd be really different if somebody did come in the game and wasn't. I know not a lot of people know about this one rapper, but I think her name is Belle the Wonder. And I have like hand-picked songs from a few of her albums. I'm like, I kind of like her sound, but she's not big and she's not sexualized like at all in the industry. Not a lot of people really know about her. But I think some of her raps are really good, but I feel like she's not ever going to get that big because of that very reason. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm,
and so, I don't know. That it sucks to say, but I don't think so. I feel like they already set that standard and they already set that bar there. So if somebody does come in, they expect that now.
Yeah, no facts.
Ass.
Hell of a point.
like, oh, she thick. Like Meg Thee Stallion, Doja Cat, they're thick. And so I feel like you got to have the look, you got to have like everything going for you. You know what I mean?
Yes, so the whole package,
it's hard to compete. And that also brings a lot to it too. Like when I listen to Nicki and when I listen to them, like Meg Thee Stallion, I feel like, man, I'm that bitch. Like I feel really like, really, no, seriously.
Because like they have that. I'll be talking about.
No, they have that, like, I don't know what it's called. They have that influence because of the way they carry themselves. And because they sexualize their own selves, you know what I mean? And their own music. And when they perform too. So it's like they already put that out there. So it's kind of really difficult to say. I don't think, I'm not saying it's impossible, but it'd be really difficult to just get away with just nothing but like talent.
Right. And to get to that level, right? To get to the levels of like Cardi. Yeah, exactly. That's going to be hard for sure. Yeah. Henny, man, what you think about that, bro?
I'm gonna say yes and no, cause
what type of answer?
I got some examples. I got some examples right here. Cause what?
Yes and no.
It's some borderline type shit. So like Missy Elliott, when she was live, she was a little heavier back then when she was coming out with her classes. She was a little heavier, and she was up there. She was like top female. She was making her little hits. Another one.
But now,
Young M.A.
You
like a nigga. Look. She's a
dude,
dyke.
though.
So this is the thing. That's what I'm saying. She a female, but
she's a female.
I mean, it's fair. That's a fair.
Technically, she a female.
This nigga trying to hack the game. He trying to
loopholes.
You know
he trying to find loopholes.
Definitely not sexualized.
I know, like
niggas definitely not trying to fuck. Well, I mean, I know some wild niggas, but
Kodak.
Another subject. Another subject, but yeah.
Nasty.
It's like nasty. That's why I'm like yes and no. Cause Young M.A, she got that fire, but she not sexualizing her shit up there. Pause. Good pause. Yeah. But yeah, It's too many. Like Beyonce, when she first blew up, everybody wanted to pipe Beyonce. When she broke away from Destiny's Child, and then they seen her get Jay-Z, so many niggas was hurt from that. I'm being one of those niggas. I was devastated. I was like, this big lip camel would,
And I'm niggas.
Let me stop.
I'm gonna say this: the idea of trying to pipe Young M.A is nasty. That left, I'm like, oh, I'm stuck.
She gonna be like, but I got that Henny though.
Hey. All right, hey, look, to Henny the guy, come here, boy. Come get some of this Henny, my boy.
Hell no.
Nah, she be having hoes. That shit.
I feel like I'm gonna go back and forth with my boy Kennawayne on this because this is definitely one we talked about before, man. Holla at me. Don't straddle the fence either, man. Yes or no? What do you feel?
I'm gonna go with today. No. Young M.A is probably the only one, and that's because the way she spits, because she's a lesbian, I can spit
like
the shit. She'd be like, I fuck these bitches. So guys are like, I can spit these lyrics. I say, I fuck these bitches. So it's different in that perspective.
Let's
but
go.
You have
go there.
like Rhapsody, who I fucking love, but like you said, you brought up the point, she's more like conscious, and that's just not what people want to listen to these days. While the ones sexualizing themselves got women because they want to throw ass in the club. And they say throw ass in the club. So Meg Stallion got you bumping the left cheek, right cheek, jumping, just throwing that ass back.
Simon says.
Yeah, you bring up an interesting point though. You bring up an interesting
16.
point, and I want to cut in on your deal here because I think we both enjoy Rhapsody a lot, and I think that was I knew you were gonna bring that up, so I said let me hold off on saying anything about Rhapsody. Like Layla's Wisdom. I mean, that should have probably won a Grammy.
Love that album.
When you think about her as just, I mean, she's not just a dope female MC. She's one of the dopest MCs, period.
Yes.
So I think women like artists are in a very hard spot. So like you take somebody like, I hate to keep saying it, but like, he's the biggest artist out, a Drake or a Future or somebody like that. By doing the R&B and rap, and even if you don't, even if you're somebody like Dolph, just by rapping, you're going to reach the male demographic, and then you're also going to reach the female demographic just by getting popular. Whereas women are in a weird position where, like, it's like you said, dog, I'm not really necessarily trying to rap along to like Meg the Stallion song. So how do you catch me as a male? Like in a lot of cases, the only way you're going to catch me is what? With some ass on the screen and, showing me a different video. So I just wanted to touch in that, in that point.
Yeah. And I feel, because like as a woman, it's going to be hard to capture the male audience. It's just going to be harder unless, like you said. So how do I sell records? I need to capture the women. What would the women want? They want to go to the club. They want to dance. They want to have a good time. They want to feel like bad bitches. That's what they want to feel like. Don't call them no bitch, but they want to feel like bad bitches. And so today, you got to capture that crowd. And that's why I feel like, Missy Elliott, that's a shining light. Lauryn Hill, that's a shining light. This is the 90s. It's moved on. That's not today. That's not today's hip hop. That's not today's music industry. You have so many dope female artists that do like almost like Dej Love. Like she's a little different, but she still didn't reach that top because, again, it's like, okay, well, women don't really fully address that, and men didn't fully address that. And she was dope as fuck, but you're not capturing the attention of one or the other.
And she was kind of in between sexually too, where at least Young M.A went all the way left. Like, I'm a nigga, basically. Whereas Dej Love, you weren't sure.
Dicking them down.
He said, I got my guys with me.
You weren't really sure about Dej Love. I think had she just decided earlier, like they even tried to do a little fake relationship with Lil Durk, where it was just like, if y'all would have just said, hey, she's a lesbian.
Did that video with the game?
Like,
I said, they all need to stop. Cut
the bullshit, On that though, just regardless of where they fall, who were some of y'all's top like female artists right now? I'll start it off. I'll say a couple of my are like.
We going by looks or
definitely love Meg. I like Rico Nasty.
We're talking about music.
All right.
Come on, man. Rico Nasty, Meg. I do like Cardi as an artist, as the package. I think her team is great, but she probably doesn't do a whole lot of writing or anything like that, which is fine. I think she's a good artist. Obviously, got love for Missy and stuff like that. But for today's artists, I would definitely say those would be the few that I really kind of stay tapped into. What about y'all, man? Who are some of y'all's favorite female artists?
Who we starting with?
Who's gonna
Just
go?
whoever. We can
I
have
have a whole
discussion.
list. I let you guys go because I think I probably have like the most people.
Well, she about to pull up the scroll.
I know, like I got the whole list right here.
All right,
I'll let you guys go before I take.
I'll go. Rico Nasty. I can't get over her voice still. I mean, I know she's nice. Bro. I just can't get over her voice still. It's how she like her real life voice is what kills me. Her real life voice pisses me off. So I can't get past it. But she's nice though. Her shit.
Oh yeah, and throwing Doja Cat pre incident.
I can't do it because she ain't show me titties. So I'm one of them.
He heard Henny.
So I'll go Young M.A, of course. Cardi.
Yes, sir.
Nicki.
Yes, sir.
Even though people want to talk about Cardi and Nicki beefing.
She's one of the greats.
I don't give no fucks about that.
She's one of the greats.
Exactly. She numbers stupid. And you gotta throw in Queen Bee, Beyonce. Like,
yeah, right.
You cannot bring up females and not say Beyonce.
Riri. She's
like,
not
she had the
like
top. She had the top group ever. Destiny's Child. But see, let's not even throw Beyonce
solo.
In there. Like,
I feel like Beyonce is a legacy act.
It's a cheat code.
She's legacy.
I just have to bring it up.
I know you just had to add that in there.
She's legacy.
Ooh.
So who else I say? Last I will throw in there. Are we talking about today of just
like contemporary artists?
Today, then that's all I got. Then I ain't gonna lie.
That's it. Of today,
I'll leave some.
Kennawayne, man, who's some of your favorite female artists today?
Man, it's definitely Young M.A by far. It's not even close. I really like Mulatto. She's coming up. City Girls. I really fuck with them. And it kind of goes back to these artists kind of remind me of the old ones, like Gangsta Boo, Trina, shit like that, bro. People forget. Lachette.
Hey, that Florida?
Lachette. Y'all forget. Gangsta Boo was on that shit.
Gangsta Boo.
Bro,
Trina.
Yes, Rashida.
Trina touched my hand before.
Man.
She touched my hand before at a concert.
Rashida before Love and Hip Hop.
Yeah, before this is
before she ruined her shit.
When she was a bossy chick.
Eve back in the day. A lot of people
Eve. Oh my Lord.
She had hits after hits. But yeah, today Meg the Stallion. Whatever you say, you gotta respect her. She came on the scene, came fast, and she's here to stay. I feel like.
Right.
Even the XXL freestyle, it was her and the baby. Like they're the only two that killed it.
They killed
That's it. Everybody else, I was like,
I don't even know why YS was there. He was just there for he was just hype man. That's what he was doing. He was just
No, I mean there's some dope artists today. Like I said, it's just about Doja Cat. She's dope. Pre-incident, as everybody says. Who else? There's so many female artists out, which is dope. I really enjoy it, but
it's hard to get everybody in.
Because I'm trying to think. I'm more.
Oh no, Crystal got a whole scroll. Don't even worry.
I know, like, alright.
It's hard when you get about contemporary. Let Crystal have it. Let Crystal have it, please.
I'm all waiting. I'm like, okay, all patient. All right.
And by the way, has anybody heard of Snow Allegra? I love Snow Allegra.
Dude.
Oh, speaking of that, I forgot to bring up Snow the product. My bad.
I love her
Shout out
sound.
Snow, my Lord. But continue. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
No, I forgot to put her on the list. I didn't know. We were doing. Okay. All right.
That was just off. That was just off topic R&B. But go ahead.
She is R&B. Okay, cool. I would say my number one obviously is Jhené Aiko. That's number one. I know all of her unreleased shit, all of the SoundCloud shit, like everything. Okay, Jhené Aiko, Doja Cat, Meg the Stallion, Ari Lennox. I feel like a lot of people don't listen to her. She's from Dreamville.
Let's go.
And I feel like you guys need to be put on. No, you guys really need. Her last album, what was it?
Cocoa Butter, Shea Butter Baby.
Shea Butter, Cocoa Butter.
Not the nigga butter, Lorenzo, not us.
Hey, that's gang shit though. You know how we fuck with Dreamville.
Dude, no, she's like one of the female artists there, or the only female artist.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely I love her. Kehlani just released her last album. Her, Summer Walker, like you guys mentioned. There's Ella.Mai. There's SZA.
SZA, let's
That's
go.
who I
listen
forgot.
to.
SZA,
I
yes.
I'm about to say,
Yes.
damn, I know that was Kenny right there.
No, I listen to. She's not R&B and she's not hip hop.
But she
So
a
I don't know if I
female.
should bring her up. But she a female. Oh yeah, you're right.
All right,
Okay,
then.
Callie. Okay.
Cali
Callie
Uchis.
Uchis.
Oh,
Callie
there we
Uchis.
go.
And
Uchis.
Uchis, and then also Lana Del Rey. I love Lana Del Rey.
Okay.
So I think those are like my top favorite artists.
I know Lorenzo was
Wait,
to say
who
something.
did that?
I know Lorenzo was
that?
to say
That was
something.
Henny, but you got a lot of controversy on your list. But we're gonna get to that later. We're gonna get to that. We time
I'm
shall.
glad.
Right.
Cause look,
And Alicia Keys.
I don't even
Keys.
know what happened with Lana. I didn't even look it up. Just
She
on
legacy,
purpose.
Alicia legacy, and then Alicia tried to talk about going in a hit battle with Mariah Carey. I don't know, like niggas need to leave Mariah out of all those conversations because
She's supposed to
too
go.
much heat.
She's supposed to go head to head now with John.
Yeah, because no, she needs to leave Mariah
Yeah.
alone. Mariah has too many hits for all these niggas. Like you can't fuck with Mariah. You can't fuck with 2000 Mariah. You damn sure can't fuck with 90s Mariah. And I love Alicia Keys, love her, but everybody need to leave her alone. That would be like a Beyonce Mariah Carey thing. Man, we got a couple albums we're just gonna get through really quick here. Actually, 3 albums this week. So we got that Key Glock, that Son of a Gun. We had the Young M.A. What was that one? That was the Red Flu. Then we had Gunna, Wunna. So man, let's save Gunna for last because I feel like that was the biggest drop of the week. Let's go ahead since we're on the ladies. Let's start with Young M.A. and Red Flu, man. Kennawayne, start us off, bro, because I know how you feel about Young M.A. musically. Let us know how you thought.
I love this fucking album, bro. This is all I've been jamming all week. Start to finish when she came on it. Man, there's so many lines off this album that I fuck with. When she said, my smile make your bitch wet. Boy, I had so much confidence. I was just walking around smiling against everybody, bro. I was looking at niggas. I was looking at niggas and looking at that girl just fucking just confident.
Did the head nod?
I didn't know where that was going. I was looking at niggas myself.
Whoa.
No, fuck that. Bad Bitch Anthem. That Bitch Anthem is gonna have the females out here.
If we ever get back outside.
They don't matter. They're gonna be throwing ass in the house on OnlyFans. That don't
throw
fucking
ass
matter.
in a circle.
Quarantine Party, Trapper Cap. Man, I just love this. I mean, it was an EP. It wasn't a full album, but she came with it. I mean, obviously she broke up with a girl. She like, fuck these bitches, fuck love. I felt her on another whole level. So that's a 10 out of 10 for me. Ain't nothing less than that. I tried to give her a 9, but I kept listening to this whole bitch.
You got the first 10.
There we go. Well, and that was on an EP scale, so we'll give it to him. Henny, man, what'd you think about the album, man? Red Flu.
What up, Slime?
All right. So first, I ain't gonna lie. I'm mad there was only 7 songs on this bitch. So we done waited so long for her to drop some individual shit. She been dropping little solo shit here and there with the little videos. But when I pulled up the album and seen it was only 7 songs, nigga, I felt like we was at practice and we just ran all day. Seen the little 25 on the clock, thought we was done, and coach said, line it up. We got gut check. That's how I felt, nigga. That shit pissed me off. But as far as the tracks, I'm fucking with the tracks. Trapper Cat, that was my shit. Quarantine Party, I ain't like, just because I feel like everybody's trying to get on that quarantine fucking little, let me get some trending shit up. Yeah,
get the algorithm correct.
Besides that, though, the other tracks, like, all that shit was slapping. Like, I even drove, listened to it in the car real quick, see how different it sounded. Smoked a little blunt on the way. I was like, yeah, I'm still fucking with this. Like, yeah.
That's illegal.
It is. I'm not in Texas, sir. I'm in California.
No, I was dry snitching.
I'm in California.
Wouldn't change those names to 6ix9ine.
But as far as like, overall album, 6ix9ine. That's another week show. But yeah, as far as Young M.A's EP, I had to give it an 8 out of 10. It was solid. I just needed more tracks for me to give her a perfect score. That's how I feel about it.
Y'all niggas.
How many tracks would you have been happy with it if she would have put out a little bit more?
How many tracks would you have been happy with if she would have? No.
I'm asking because last one that I saw you,
All
were
right.
like, man, that's too long. That's too long of an album. It was like
Right, you can't please me. You can't please me,
So like,
bro.
okay,
Look.
well, what would have been good?
That shit
Get on his
had
ass.
21.
Please me.
That shit had 21 tracks. Give me a solid 10 to 15. I'm cool. That's
She
all
was
I'm
on your
asking
ass.
for.
15 is still kind of a lot. I feel like 10.
I like 13.
No, because
13 is cool.
I might have a road trip.
13 is a good.
I might have
See,
a
Crystal
road trip
trying to
one
get
day.
me started today. Crystal, don't get me started on this conversation. They know how I
But-
feel about long
Oh,
albums.
dude,
I might
that's a
have
long ass.
I might have a road trip.
I don't
She
want
didn't-
more
15
than
tracks
fucking
is cool.
15 songs, man. 15
But
should be a
21?
deluxe. That should be deluxe.
Like, bro,
21 is deluxe. And that was not a
15 is
deluxe.
deluxe if we want to keep
And
it
it was
a
not a
buck.
deluxe, though. It was a regular.
And no, I'm gonna
I
talk
feel
about
like
that
if
in
it
a
was that
second.
long,
I'm gonna talk about
Nobody
that.
would
in a
Yeah,
listen
but
to
second.
that.
her last album was 21 songs, and it
It
wasn't
don't
even released
matter.
that long ago.
That's too many goddamn songs.
I didn't want that many.
Hey, I
We're
fuck with it.
Look, I was
I
trying
gotta-
to see it, and I said that I didn't want that many.
I'm gonna save something for later. I have a little question once we get to Gunna's album, something that's pissing me off. But Crystal, go ahead. What'd you think of the?
He said something that's pissing me off.
I will say, I honestly didn't expect to like it because I don't really listen to too much of Young M.A. I think the last song, honestly, to be honest with you guys, the last song that I heard from her was that ooh, that ooh
I
song
knew she was
from
gonna
like
say
20,
that.
dude, from
Oh,
so
Lord.
fucking long ago.
You
So
call
like
her
this one,
Stephanie. I call her Heffany.
I call her Heffany.
Hey.
See, like everyone was seeing that, like everyone. But with this album, I would say I would give it a solid 8 out of 10. She had some bars in there, and I would listen to it. Like I'm gonna listen. I think I already listened to it about 3 times. It's a short album, so I'm not tripping about it.
Exactly
You can go
my
through that
point.
quick.
You listened to it 3
Yeah.
times. 'cause
Yeah,
it's
you
short.
can go through it quick.
Hey, go back to her last album. You'll like it. I think you'll like her last album. She had
No,
more
you guys
R&B
really,
in there.
honestly, you guys
Yeah, it
put me
was
on.
solid.
So
It was
I'm gonna
solid.
give the
Her
next-
last album.
yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. If I just
What?
stop there now.
I know.
alright,
like,
next. He said 7 out of 10.
Second
Next, we
track,
got up
bro.
Key Glock.
It was cool. It was an EP, so I don't put as much stock in the EPs as I do into like the big album releases.
Exactly.
But I did think it was a solid body of work. I liked it. I will play it again. I'll probably yank a couple tracks off there. Didn't get to give it a proper listen, so I think with a few more proper listens, because it like Kenny said, it does speed by. So like shit, if you're doing anything at all, before you look back, the album's fucking over. But I did think it was solid, and I'm looking to see what Young M.A has in store, for later. Next up on the ticker, man, we got that Key Glock, Son of a Gun. I don't know what, this is somewhere in his discography as far as I don't know what number album it is, but he's heavily affiliated with Young Dolph. So, he's in that trap lane, man. I think that album, how many songs did it have? Like 17, something like that?
15.
So, okay, 15, 17, whatever. Let's go ahead and start with my boy Henny, man. What'd you think of that Key Glock, Son of a Gun?
Son of a gun. About time this nigga dropped a little solo album for me. That's what I was thinking about it. So I fuck with Dolph and Glock heavy. Like as far as like duo, like collabs, they in my top 3 as far as being on tracks together. So for him to actually come out with an album, he actually soloed that shit pretty good. I ain't gonna lie. It's not gonna get a high rating though, but for Glock, it was a nice album. Like I could fuck with it. He had a couple good songs that, a little personal to me. That Cream was my shit on that hoe. Even though it's not better than the original Cream, of course. Let's not go there. We're not gonna go that far. But his version of the Cream, the Trap Cream, that shit went hard. Kill Switch, that shit went hard. The Gucci sweatsuit, I fuck with that shit. Heavy as fuck. Like it was solid for a Glock album, especially. Like if you're not even into trap really like that, as far as listening, if you listen to his album, he has his own like cadence and flow that I think you can kind of appreciate. I gave it a 7 as far as me.
Okay. Okay. That's fair. Henny, man. I said Henny. Kennawayne, bro.
I was just repeating
Right?
the same shit. So
Back-
yeah, as
back.
far as Glock
One more. Again.
Right? Kennawayne, man. What'd you think of that Key Glock shit?
I love Key Glock, but I didn't love this album, man. I'm not gonna sit here and lie. There was some tracks that I really did fuck with, like Flexin', Gucci Sweatsuit. I just thought that it wasn't as good as Yellow Tape. I really like that one a lot more. But like Henny said, though, also took into effect, he did this album by himself. No features, which all these young like trap hip hop artists, they always have a feature. Like they have multiple features. This is like almost like the trap version of J. Cole, like this kind of album where he tried to be something different. So I've like listened back to it. And the second time just taking a look, I liked it more than the first time. So I think this may be one of his albums that'll grow on me because I'm not used to it. But yeah, like Henny said, Key Glock has that sound. You know, you turn on Key Glock, it's
Boom.
His album.
Shit,
you know that. And we kind of had a conversation earlier, Zoe, where I thought somebody you were listening to was somebody else because they sounded so similar. But I know a Key Glock song. I know a Dolph song. And even though they get on together, you can tell the difference on how they rap. I'm going to give this a 5 out of 10. I mean, it wasn't bad. I feel like he could do better.
Damn.
I'm dying up for her. She was hurt like it was her album. She said.
I was like, dude, I was expecting like a 6, 7 at least. 5 is like right in between, bro. That's like
what he need to do better. He'll get a 6 or 7.
he not Dolph, Kenny. He not Dolph.
I fuck with him. Hey, I don't care if you're J. Cole, Kendrick, Lamar, Drake. If the shit is a 5,
he ain't gonna get there.
I feel you, man.
He only got a 7
enough.
for me because he ain't had no features.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Crystal, man, what'd you think of that goddamn?
Yes.
I almost called him Dolph. What'd you think of the goddamn album?
First of all, hold up. So I listened to this one once and I listened to like the first half of it again. I liked it. I feel like it would have to grow on me because I don't know a lot of his music. I feel like I thought this was an okay album, but I don't think this is one of his best. I haven't heard the rest of his albums, but I feel like he has potential. And I feel like a lot of people were like, dude, like this wasn't even like one of his better albums. Like I think it was okay.
Did your ears bleed?
He said,
hey,
listen to Dumb and Dumber, Young Dolph and Key Glock.
It was good, I guess.
Yeah. Like
I'll get you put on.
I have a playlist for this type of like rap. So it would like
this nigga scene.
I have a playlist for this type of debauchery.
Some of these songs made it into that playlist. I was like, okay. It's not bad. I heard the reference with Cream, and then I also liked which one was it? I don't think the intro was that bad, but for me to be like put onto this artist, this one wouldn't be an album to like put me on. But I do want to give him a chance, so I'm gonna listen to his previous. Yeah, so I would say 6 out of 10.
6 out of 10. Okay.
6 out of 10.
Okay. Just to, I won't hold it up too long. Just to kind of follow up, I thought it was okay. I think it's one of those tapes that you can probably play at like the gym or if you're on like a long car ride. This is my main problem. I think with this is where I miss the mixtape versus album era days where everything wasn't a commercial product where you could put shit on Dat Piff. Because I think something like this would have been heat if you put it on like Dat Piff or live mixtapes. But when you have to put it up here as an album and we have to call it an album because, I mean, basically we're all paying for the shit. Maybe not individually, but through our streams and shit like that. I think that's what really hurts an album like this where trap artists are having to put out big bodies of work, calling it an album. The label's probably still counting that as a mixtape for him. We know how that shit works. That didn't count towards this album deal. But it was just okay for me. Like, I kind of feel like Key Glock's one of them artists that I can jam to. Like you said, he does have a distinct sound. If I kind of feel like there isn't much variance between tapes. Like, it's kind of just a newer album than the last. But there's nothing too special that goes on into it. So I am looking forward to see his progression as an artist. You know what I mean? I want to see him continue to get better. And I think he has gotten better.
I don't think he's going to like another tier. He's just going to be in that tier where he's
I still think he can get better.
He can get better, but he's still going to be like, as far as like production, he can get better, but he's still going to be like in that tier though. Like he's so much trap that he's never going to get to where Dolph is at. Like where Dolph can get on mainstream type features, like a 21 Savage
even
type
Dolph,
deal.
If we're being honest, Dolph really ain't that big. we follow that type of music.
Yeah.
So I think that we this nigga here. But I really think that Dolph really isn't even, you know, a huge mainstream artist. I think a lot of people fuck with him because trap has been a little bit more prevalent over the last few years, but I still don't think he's at the huge heights that he'd like.
No, he's not at the huge heights.
So
but that's
and then Key Glock's under him. So
exactly.
You know, overall, I would give it a 6 out of 10. It didn't have. This is weird. This is gonna sound weird. It did have replay value, and it didn't, in the sense of like I can probably replay it like now over the next 2 months. But like I don't see it ever being played ever again outside of after like July or you know June 30th. I think that album's going to the waste bin.
Oh, put on that like Gucci suits, nigga.
Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of the tape, but it will get some rotation if I can ever start working out again and shit like that. It'll get a
put
little
it in that
rotation.
playlist.
If I want to pull up and look cool, like I'm banging some Key Glock, I might throw that bitch on. Now I kind of sped through those two because I figured we'd have the most to talk about on this last album, man. So we had Gunna's album Wunna, which was the follow-up to Drip or Drown 2, I believe. So he had Drip or Drown 2 in 2019. Then he had this as the follow-up, man. He's had a hell of a year for features. I mean, pretty much every big hip-hop release that comes out has a Gunna feature, which is something I kind of joked about, you know, at the end of last year. And then it's just like, damn, you see this year, I think he's on that Roddy album. He's on that goddamn A Boogie album. He's on everybody's album this year. And this was, you know, a big moment for him to kind of step up and see what he's about. Who wants to start it out, man? I'm gonna give it to y'all. Who wants to start out talking about that one album?
Well, not Crystal, because she's changing the channel.
Yeah, I know.
So
she's not even paying attention.
It's me or Kenneth.
No,
like,
I'm putting it on.
I don't even like this nigga. I'm turning this nigga off.
Are we talking about Gunna? Okay.
Oh shit.
I'm putting on my Spotify because I like to see a reference to the track. So I'm like, okay, let me get like the three. I listened to this album the most out of those three that we went over. I listened to this one the most. This is the first album that I listened to Gunna straight through. I always loved his features. Like I'm like, man, who is this? But I never ever actually like gave him the time of day to look into him. I would say this one for me would be, I would say solid 8. A solid 8 out of 10. Because I'm gonna listen to this. Like I've been listening all week.
Any standout tracks for you?
What is that one? The one is it with Travis Scott? The dollar is something dollar bills on my head or something like
that's
that.
With Thug.
Dollars on my head, but that's not
dollars on my head. Look, see, that's why I gotta see it. That's why I was changing my channel. So
that's why I pull it up too. I feel you.
Cause you guys got your phones. My phone.
The Travis Scott is the top floor.
Top floor, yeah.
Oh, look, it's right here. All right, so songs. Oh, see, I like the intro, Argentina, Skybox. I like. Let me see. I gotta see the album. I like Met Gala, and I wasn't too crazy about Gimmick. Like I skipped past that one a few times. I skipped past the second song. Yeah, I would say 8 out of 10. This one put me onto him.
Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Kennawayne, man, what'd you think about that Gunna, Wunna? I gotta say it every time, Gunna, Wunna.
Trash. 3 out of 10. I don't even want to talk about it. Like, bro, his
ratings hurt.
Bro, like,
hey, get used to him.
You'll
be on again, so you'll.
Look, he gave out a 10 today. He gave out a 10 today, so I knew it was coming. I knew somebody was getting a low ass grade. I knew it.
He's on a salary cap.
Oh, no.
He has a hard cap.
Hold on. Listen, I'll tell you why it gets a 3 out of 10. I thought the production was awesome. I really did.
Let's go.
Okay.
I don't know what the fuck he talking about. He didn't. I started listening to the music. It could have been an instrumental, and I would have gave it a higher rating if it was an instrumental. But he was rapping. I wouldn't listen to him. He's a feature rapper. He's a dope feature rapper. But he didn't capture me in anything. Like, I was in the shower listening to it like I do every morning. And I was like, what did he say? Like, I just heard the album. I was like, no lyrics stood out to me. So Lil Baby was dope. I think him and Lil Baby have a good combo, sort of like Dolph and Key Glock. But 3, like, I'm never going to listen to this album again. Like, it's not gonna happen. Like y'all, and the funny thing is, I kept asking other people, and everybody's like, I like it. I was looking at like reviews online, they like it, and I was like, fuck it, I'm not gonna cap. I don't like the shit. Okay, y'all can like it, but y'all ain't gonna see this shit on my playlist.
What genre is he? He's like trap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So like, I feel like
it.
I don't really listen to that type of music to like get like, I don't know.
Like, see, I don't consider Gunna trap.
No, I listen to it because it sounds good. Like I don't listen to it. It's not like he's not on like a J. Cole. He's not on a Kendrick or something like, wow, that's like,
no, but like at least Key Glock, he's talking about something I can understand. The nigga, like he's telling a story about drugs and shit, and growing up on the street. I don't know what the fuck this nigga was talking about. Like, I didn't remember one lyric. Like, fucking.
That's fair enough.
I know my
I don't consider Gunna trap, and that's why I hold that against him. I don't consider Gunna trap. I think he's something else.
I think I agree with you as far as like maybe he's really good on his features. Like that's what got me down.
He's a great
really
feature.
Like his voice.
It's great production, but if you're gonna say this is your album. Okay.
And this is a big release for you too. You know what I mean?
At least it's not as bad as Jay.
Hey, I'll say this is his best album.
Eesh, nah, man.
Still ain't shit, but this is his best album.
Oh man, Drip Season 3. Hey, Crystal, this is what I'll tell you. Go listen to Drip Season 3. That's the Gunna album to kind of. That's what got me on Gunna, where I was like, okay, I can't wait for his next release, and then he disappointed me since. But
Two not bad either.
I'll say that.
He's not bad either.
How long ago was that
for
one?
sure.
2018, I believe.
Oh, okay, that's not too bad.
2018 was Drip Season 3. Henny, man, what'd you think about that goddamn Wunna?
I fuck with it, and then I didn't fuck with it.
This nigga, the most flip-flop answers all day, nigga.
I know.
Because look, it started off nice, like with the intro to Argentina, and I was like, nigga, okay. All right. Nigga, I scooted my seat up in the car, nigga. With my blunt, I was like, bet. Next track came Gimmick. All right, I mean, shit, all right.
I skipped that.
I was like, okay, it's going kind of different. Shit started slowing down. Track 2, track 3 came, slowing down. Dollars on My Head came on. I was back. I was like, okay, we in here. Addies. I was like, oh, no. Skybox, I didn't already heard. I was like, you know me, Smoker. I was like, that whole live. Blindfold was live with Lil Baby, of course. But then after that, it wasn't nothing much for me besides like 2 more tracks. That Cooler Than a Bitch, Roddy Rich. That was fired. Met Gala. I fuck with that hoe. Top Floor, I ain't really fuck with much. Even though Travis Scott was in it, I was just like kind of like add to that hoe. The outro, The Far with Young Thug, I fuck with. So that's why I was like kind of yes and no. I mean, compared to the last shit he dropped, this was better easily. Like the last shit he dropped was extremely disappointing. So rating wise, I have to get this whole. I give it a 7.
Okay.
Because his production was stupid on that shit. The production was nice.
You know, and let me just get right into it, man. I've never liked an album and hated it so much at the same time.
I'm telling you, bro. That's why I said yes and no, bro.
This was a very head-scratching album.
And it's annoying.
This was a head-scratcher for me. So, you know, I fuck with Gunna since really since that Drip Season 3, and I've been waiting for him to deliver a better album. You know, each time Drip or Drown 2 was mediocre. This man, like, the production was phenomenal.
Who's on this nigga's team.
The production was great. Here's my thing: he's starting to prove that he gets outshined on the production very easily, which is something really, really bad. He lets the production just take over, and he don't be saying shit, which is fine because some people don't be saying shit. They're more for the melody. He sounds bored on half the goddamn track sometimes. And I actually like how Gunna sounds usually. He sounds bored. The fucking titles of the tracks, though, like, I hate this weird shit. Like, nigga, Argentina. Like, nigga, what? Like, make the fucking shit something about. Did this nigga mention the word Argentina one time?
I was just about to say that. When I looked at the song number 1 and it said Argentina, I was like, oh, this nigga was overseas during COVID? That's what I was thinking. I was like,
man.
nigga, how?
These niggas are trying to be cool. And that's probably where he made it. But it's like, bro, like these niggas are coming up with these name titles that have nothing to do with the fucking song.
Well, look, he already explained it on track 2. Track 2 was
fucking-
gimmick. So I was like, all right, there go the answer.
I did like that
He
was on
said,
my
"Gimme."
head. You got a song called Addies. Like this shit's getting a little too far with that shit. Like Addies, nigga. You have a song after Adderall's. Like, come on, bro.
No, man, he means addresses, man. Come on.
Like,
Man.
all in
The
all,
Addy.
all in all, man, I thought it was cool. Like, I'll probably listen to it a little bit. I'll probably pluck a few songs off it. I was disappointed overall, just because I expected a better body of work. He's starting to be one of those artists, though, man, that he's gonna become a feature only artist.
Bitch, don't get too comfortable.
He is a feature
only artist.
Ooh,
where
so comfortable. That song.
it's getting to that time, man. Time's almost up for Gunna. And so if I had to just give it a number, man, I would probably give it a 6 out of 10. Just I thought it was a very middling album. That's being generous. It was either a 5 or a 6 for me. One of the things I wanted to ask y'all about though, that's pissing me off, this deluxe gimmick that these fools are doing right now is starting to really fucking rub me wrong. So like we've always seen the deluxe albums back in the day and shit, and most of these albums have a deluxe, but like lately I think Uzi kind of really actually was the most genuine. We all know it's for business. We get the move behind
Juice,
it.
RP Juice.
You get a big second week out of it because you release the album and then you get another huge week after saying deluxe. But you know, I don't like how there's too many songs on an album, but like at least Uzi did give you, you know, another album. He gave you a second album basically. Whereas then it's like, okay, then Lil Baby did the shit, and then like this nigga's doing it, and I'm not liking it, bro.
Some
I'm
niggas
not liking
don't be
the deluxe.
really having a deluxe, so that's the thing.
It's not even that. I don't like it.
They're just trying to throw that shit on there.
Put the fucking songs on your album, bro. Put the
you know who did that recently?
Oh, don't ask Chris Brown to do that though. Chris Brown will throw you a deluxe nigga. Like we're talking about.
But for real, like put the songs.
How
on the
did this nigga
album.
come up with a deluxe album on his album that had like 100 tracks, nigga?
I'm gonna be dead if he ever come out with a deluxe.
I haven't listened
it's gonna take a whole week to listen to that nigga deluxe.
But like, and also with the streaming era shit, like, okay, I already have the fucking shit saved, and then I got to go back and save your fucking deluxe album, like. Nigga, spare me the bullshit, man. And just add the fucking songs do some Kanye shit and just go back and add the songs under the same album profile. I'm getting tired of having to go back and
it's a whole separate thing, including the other songs already.
Deluxe album, that shit's gotta die.
You know what really pissed me off was Moneybagg Yo's deluxe album. This nigga didn't just put it on the end. This nigga mixed the tracks in between. So I was like,
don't do that. Don't do that.
You fucked up the whole track list. I was like, wait, is this new or was this old?
Because you listen to it already off rip, like, oh, he put it in this pattern for a reason. Then the deluxe came in, it was thrown in between that hoe.
Hey, because I'm used to like, if I'm listening to a song off an album, I'm used to, okay, this song, and then this song is
I'm memorizing the order,
And then when I was like, wait, was that next? No, what? So at least keep it in fucking order.
You got niggas thinking they on shuffle and shit.
Yeah, Crystal, how you feel about the deluxe shit? You like deluxe albums from artists you like?
No. Okay, well, more recently, Jhené Aiko just released. I didn't even know she was gonna release a deluxe album. I thought her most recent album, it was long enough. And as much as I love Jhené Aiko, like I wasn't crazy about it. I like all her older work a lot better. Just because like the sound that she used to have, and now I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm like, all right, fine, I'll let you do your thing. Like she's gonna, venture out. But now she's releasing a deluxe for this one, and I don't know how I feel about it because I kind of like this album, so I don't know how I feel. Like they better be something worth listening to if I'm gonna like be keeping track of it.
For real, and it's just like I get it. Like you want to add numbers to the shit, but it's like, man, just miss me with the bullshit. Like I get it. It's all a ploy to fuck up the streaming shit and to try to get more.
If you're gonna do a deluxe, don't do it 1 week after either, though. Like, come on, like wait a little bit if you're gonna do the deluxe, at least a month maybe. If you're gonna be like, I got a deluxe. These niggas be like 3 days later, oh, here's a deluxe.
Hey y'all, the deluxe coming out tomorrow. You feel me? Like nigga, what? You just dropped an album today,
what?
Man. And just even off that Gunna shit, man, I think that rolls into the next topic good. On IG this week, he was seen doing some whippets and shit. which I mean, y'all can look that shit up. We had a hell of a week for artists. Doja Cat with what she was going through with the, you know, self-hate and all that shit. And then of course Lana Del Rey came at a few of the hip hop and just music industry heavyweights, and you know, did receive a fair amount of criticism. So I mean, one of the things I saw is that it looks like a lot of times when we do disagree with the artist's stance or their statement on something, it seems like, you know, we're in this cancel culture where we're just ready to cancel everything about them, can't, you know, not listen to their music, not fuck with the artist, period, which kind of lends itself to an interesting topic. Do you guys feel that you can separate, you know, art from the artist, their personal life, or do you feel like, you know, if you just disagree with something an artist does, it makes it harder for you to listen to, you know, their shit? Man, let's start with Kennawayne on that.
I mean, the Gunna shit, I'm not surprised. It wasn't news to me. Okay, the nigga did whippets. I expect this nigga to do drugs. Little baby's always on those perks and shit. Do I agree with it?
He said he's not, allegedly.
Like, I expect them niggas to do it. Do I agree with it? No. It's not my life. It's not my body. Fuck it. I can't do it. So I think with the drugs, I think we've seen drugs in the music industry so much, whether it's Elvis, whether it's fucking, you know, Whitney Houston, Bobby Brown, whether it's rap. I think it's here. It's prevalent. That wasn't huge, so it doesn't affect me. There's certain things that would affect me. Man, I don't really fuck with R. Kelly. I don't listen to R. Kelly anymore. I'm going to just be real. Do I think R. Kelly was a fucking dope-ass R&B? Yes. I used to jam, 12 play, all that shit, but not anymore.
On, baby.
So I think it really depends. I looked at the Lana Del Rey stuff. I mean, it's all perspective with her, how she was saying it, how she may have meant it. I think it's really hard today versus you also back in the day, because they're all under this spotlight, social media. Like, man, we all have made a mistake on a tweet or whatever, but it doesn't affect us as much. We can go around and say, fuck it. No, but I mean, like,
no filter.
Like, yeah, I think when I say shit on Facebook, I mean it. Like, I had an argument with somebody today, and they thought I was gonna go backwards. Nah, we're just gonna disagree. I appreciate your perspective, but I meant the shit. But I think, younger me, I look back at some of my tweets or some of my Facebook statuses, and I'm like, damn, you fucking stupid saying some shit like that. But these artists don't have that ability just to take it away, because niggas is screenshotting, recording everything. So you make a quick mistake or you misword or missay something. It is what it is. I think to a point, some of the shit I may not agree with, but I mean, I know they're doing it. Whether you say it or not, some of your favorite artists probably doing drugs. Like, it is what it is. I think, like, if you're doing, like, the child pedophile shit or, like, completely, like, racist or saying some racist shit, like, I'm gonna have to step away. So, I mean, to an extent, yeah, drugs, I really don't give a fuck. I wish you wouldn't. Because, I mean, we seen, like, Juice WRLD pass away, shit like that. It really does affect you. I think even J. Cole kind of touched on that shit, how it's like a drug culture and we're, you know, put it on a pedestal. And, I mean, even Lil Wayne, to an extent, kind of started that. But, I mean, no one's stopping watching Lil Wayne. But then you also have artists, I think also, that because they do drugs, Snoop Dogg, Wiz Khalifa, they got a fucking following because of that. So, I mean, it's purely up to the person.
And there's levels to it. There's levels, you know, weed, and then niggas out here, you know, fucking sipping on this lean, basically heroin and shit. It's kind of like a little bit different levels to it. But I get you overall. But, I mean, you feel like if somebody's just say a straight up crackhead or just whatever, the R. Kelly situation, is it possible for you to separate them from their music? Are you able to come to terms with what they've done in their personal life and what the art that they've created, you know, stands for or says?
If you're a crackhead, you can do what the fuck you want. You make good tracks, I'll give you a 10 out of 10. You make good tracks. But if you're a crackhead like Gunna and you make a 3 out of 10, it's 3 out of 10. I don't think if it's affecting your music, that's affected your career and that's your life. Like, people in my life, I'm going to tell you, hey, you fucking up. You shouldn't be doing this. I don't think you should be doing this because I'm putting it on you. But I don't know these people. I really don't know them on a personal level. I don't know what they're going through. I don't know why they're doing that. I don't know if that makes them creative. Because some people, I went to college. Some people will smoke weed and be better at creativity than when they're not because they can't focus. Fact. So I don't know these people. I'm not going to judge you on that. Now, when it comes to serious topics, like I said, R. Kelly and shit, yes, that's just going to affect me listening to you. So for me, nah, man, for the most part, I don't give a fuck.
Good fact. Crystal, how do you feel about that? Can you separate the music from the person?
It depends on the situation. Like, I'm going to go based off what he said. With like R. Kelly, I really used to listen to his music, and then after finding out like all that shit, I was like, I feel, and then not only do I feel a certain way, but people will look at you a certain way if you listen to him. Still, it's like, bro, what? Like, that's fucked up, because that's something very serious, as opposed to like drugs and shit. For me, if I like your music, I like your music, and I'm gonna listen to it if I like it. So for me, I can definitely separate the two, I think, to a certain extent, just depending on the situation. Like, if they do something totally out of pocket to where I'm like, man, I do not agree with them at all. Like, them as a person, like, you don't know them on a personal level. I don't know them on a personal level. But you see how they carry themselves. You see what they put out. Like, I follow all my artists on social media. I keep, like, tabs on them. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. They're coming to this city. So I'll keep up with them on that level. But no, like, because I like to keep track to see, like, okay, like, when they're going on tour.
That's called stalking.
But then it's like, if you see something, like, I know this past week, who was it? It was Doja Cat who put out something, and everyone was like bashing her on social media. I didn't really look into it. Like, I don't really feed into that because I'm like, bro, like, honestly, I don't care. Like, I don't have time to be sitting here commenting, arguing with people on their posts. Mm-hmm. And then I know Lana Del Rey posted something about like how, like, if she puts out her lyrics, how she gets all this backlash, but like Doja Cat, Megan Thee Stallion, all these rappers can share their shit and like they don't get backlash, like they're just sexualized. So I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and like I don't know. If they have good music, they have good music. I'm gonna listen to it.
Hey,
with the exception of people who do like fucked up shit. Yeah, that affects other people. Yeah. I feel you. Then I'm not gonna listen to it.
Henny, man, this should be interesting. What do you think, man?
So look, I'm still listening to R. Kelly. I don't give a fuck. I'm listening to Trapped in the Closet. I'm listening to I Believe You Can Fly. I'm listening to all that shit I still listened to when I was little. I ain't raped these little hoes. Like, I ain't had nothing to do with it.
And the Henny is kicking in, folks.
I ain't had nothing to do with it, so I'm gonna still bump it. Them hoes is classic. I know he's supposed to be banned or whatever, but I feel like basically you can't get blacklisted unless you like really trash, really. Like Meek Mill, that whole social media beef and shit with Drake, when that nigga went back to back, crushed that nigga, killed that nigga. That was an L. Then he got beat by Game. That was another L. But Meek Mill is still around making hits. So I'm saying if you got enough good talent, you still gonna be able to put your music out and still be able to make sales. So it's really not a big issue unless you like you're not really in there grinding like you're supposed to be. Because Meek then got body.
Okay, like, but what if it's something where they affect you personally, like Doja Cat,
Kodak?
where she's being racist, kind of, or accused.
Doja Cat ain't show no titties, so she done. She fucked up right there by not showing titties. When you say you gonna show somebody titties and you don't show them, you know how many nerd ass white people looked up her history so quick on Twitter, that shit blew up fast. Like that chat room shit came in like 5 minutes after that. After she got number one and just put out that shit, was like, oh, I was just joking, ha ha ha. She thought it was funny. Niggas were talking about going to the database right now and getting her Skype history.
Somebody probably like, already had that shit in the cuff. I don't know, man.
Like that shit
I feel like
stupid.
The R. Kelly part is
like
weird because
and YNW.
Yeah, I mean the
you murdered a nigga, you murdered a nigga. But at least he told us he was killing niggas in his music. Like I'm not gonna be surprised about it. Like this nigga said he was killing niggas. He said, all rap, no cap.
I mean, the R.
I can't
Kelly
get
part
mad
is
at the
weird
nigga for the shit I listened to.
because
Yeah, R. Kelly is
people
wild.
knew about this stuff a long time
He ain't
ago.
hog tie nobody. That's all I want everybody to know. He don't know how to hog tie. He made that perfectly clear. I don't know how to hog tie in that interview. That's when he got heated. So that little part right there is what got me thinking.
So it was like,
Who hog tied them females? Like it had to be another person with them. He wasn't solo doing this because he swore on God he don't know how to hog tie. Like you know when niggas get mad, they get mad. But when it's something they really ain't do, they get hot for real. Like that's what he did. When she brought
That's
up
the
that
part he
hog
chose
tie.
to.
He got up out the chair and said, "I don't hog tie." She was talking about all this other stuff, like, "Oh, you essentially harassing all this." But when she brought up hog tying, that nigga lost his mind, bro. That nigga put on God, he ain't do that. That's all I want. R. Kelly ain't hog tied nobody. That's all I want y'all to know.
Well, interesting point. I guess what I would say, just in that, just kind of following up, the R. Kelly thing's weird because people knew about his history for a long time, and everybody still listened to it in everybody listened to him in the early 2000s when he made that big comeback, and like when he had the "I'm a Flirt" and shit like that. And then it's like the social media shit. The reason I don't like the cancel culture is because social media brought it back up. And I know, I mean, it's wrong. Don't get me wrong, it's wrong. But I'm just for the purpose of this conversation, I'm saying social media, and then you had that documentary where it put it to the forefront again. It was already there. He'd already done the shit. So it's like if he did something 20 years ago and then we fast forward another 10 years, OJ. He still did it. And it's like I don't like the pressure of the you can't listen to him, where it's like if people want to leave R. Kelly alone and think that they should, then I think that's within your right. But if you don't actually feel like you want to stop listening to his music because you didn't, even though you knew what he did 10 years ago, and then now you're just giving in to like social media pressure, I think a lot of that's weird, and I think it's a slippery slope. He's a bad example to use because I think what he's done is arguably just really one of the nastier things. But I think there's a lot of people that need that spotlight put on them in the music industry. So, I don't know all the ins and outs of that. Now, to an extent, I can separate the music from the artist. I mean, it's like Crystal said, if the song sounds good and the artist, really puts their love and joy into the work, and they're not talking about no egregious shit in the music, I mean, I gotta side with the art. I think two things can be true. I think multiple things can always be true, where you could be a fucked up motherfucker, but you could also make good ass music. Yeah. And so for me, it's one of those things where I try to lead with the art, and I try not to get too caught up. Obviously, we all have artists that we stan and shit like that. I try not to you can't get caught up in that for every artist, because by that time you're going to be really fucked up trying to see if every move another man or woman makes is, by your own moral code. I think, to her point, we have to enjoy the music to an extent. Obviously, if they jump out the pocket and start calling people niggers and shit like that, well, fuck it.
What up? I'm not to support you no more.
I may go ahead and, put that Eminem down if he started wilding. But outside of that, I think you have to just let the art really speak for itself in that lane, and then treat their personal life on a completely different scale. I will say though, the Gunna shit kind of broke me down. Just like he's already all drugged out, and then you're doing
whip it.
Like,
that one said slap.
And
then looked and said, "Oh shit, I'm on live." Turn that shit off quick.
Nah, but either way, man, that's a hard topic because I mean, it can be hard to separate the two, but I think that there's two different things there.
Oh yeah.
Another one, real quick. Another one I forgot about was Michael Jackson. I love Michael Jackson. A lot of people,
I purposely didn't bring that up.
Me too.
There's a lot of controversy. I'm like, bro, I know.
Well,
I'm sorry, but that's like my favorite. That's like one of my favorite. I will never. I don't.
No, fact. Like nah, let me stop.
I was like, no, that's
period.
No, I'm glad and that's a hard one because I think there's not really substantiated claims on MJ, and I don't want to get into it, but there is. I don't want to get into it, but I'm going to get into it. But there's not really substantiated claims though. And then they were like trying to like pressure certain radio stations and never playing Michael Jackson again, and it's like, bro, like just because I say Kennawayne came to my house and slapped me, that don't mean the cops get to just go to his house and arrest this man and throw him in jail without getting any type of a word. Did you actually? this man might have been at his home the whole time, but I don't want to get into that because Kendrick knows that's a slippery slope. I just think we have to do our due diligence and really
Plus, they ain't
investigate.
arresting me. I'm too light skinned, so they're probably with
Oh,
somebody.
he didn't slap you.
Especially if we're in Minneapolis right now.
Hey, man. Come on.
Nigga,
You
I
know?
wanted to move to Minnesota. Nigga, as soon as I seen that shit, I said, woo.
No.
Hey.
Ooh.
Man, let's get into our playlist for the week, man. Where we all have our current rotations at play. Who wants to start that out? Who got the fire in their Serato right now?
I'll
I
go.
don't even got no fire.
This thing said none.
There you go.
All right, so I'm gonna start with my 5. Unfortunately, Young M.A had 7 tracks, so I couldn't put. No, I was kidding. The first one, Drip Set, Young M.A, of course. The second one, Quarantine Party by Young M.A. Third one, Prospect by Ian Duer and Lil Baby, dope track. These last two, probably most people won't know. Parking Tickets and Credit Cards by Cody Ray and How by Mark Battles. I think those two are really dope songs by artists a lot of people don't know. So definitely go check it out. It'll be in the Spotify playlist below. As always.
Next.
Henny, man, what's in that rotation, bro?
Put mine on. I had a little emotional weeks, guys. So it's not the same playlist as usual. Going through some little shit here. So I'm gonna start off with the Juice WRLD Empty. And then another Juice WRLD Emotions. Then I got Lil Tecca Out of Love featuring Internet Money. Then it came back to his senses real quick. So I got Young M.A, Trap or Cap. Then I got Key Glock Cream.
Okay, bet.
Right.
Crystal, what's that list look like?
All right, I know I had to write it down because I'm like, what, dude? I play the same songs all the time. It's so bad.
Right.
Okay, so on this week's playlist, I would say Kehlani, her second track on her newest album, Can I?
Okay.
Can I? I think
Tory
that song
Lanez?
is so good. It's so good. Yes, it's so fucking good.
Let's go.
Okay, Jhené Aiko, Surrender. I like that song. And then I also put down Masego, Flight 99. It's a really, really groovy song. This is an older song, came out like, I want to say this past summer. Was it? Yeah, Slide. I still play that every day. I don't care.
Okay.
And then Anderson .Paak, Good Heels. All right.
Like
I just put all you guys on. So
I like it.
when you guys play this video back, you guys gotta.
First off,
I don't have a lot of rap in
Anderson
here.
.Paak.
Hey.
First off, them last two you said, I already know I listened to.
Which one?
Yeah.
Masego?
The Anderson
Flight 99?
Paaks? Yes.
Oh.
I've heard all of those but one.
Like I wasn't
But
up at
one.
Hulu and shit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
summer.
you're right.
Man, I didn't really have a whole lot of new shit on mine this week. Just how I was kind of feeling. Just like Henny said, I was in a mood where I just kind of was throwing back some older stuff. To start it out, I did throw one. I threw that Dollars on My Head in there from Gunna. I had that How from Lil Baby. I had Welcome to the Jungle, Jay-Z and Kanye. I threw Kelly Price in there featuring Travis Scott off the Migos album. How many did I have right there?
4.
Damn, I'm like,
This
how many
nigga
did I say?
can't count.
And then my fifth, I threw a little R&B in there. I mentioned it earlier, but that Daniel Caesar, Japanese Denim, I threw that in there in my playlist. If y'all haven't heard that song, anybody out there, check that out, man. Daniel Caesar is a great artist if you're looking for the R&B vibe. However, as we transition into the end of the show today, man, we usually do our outro, give everybody the time to just kind of get what they want off their chest, say what they want, promote what they want. Henny, let's start with you, bro. You got the time. It's on you.
All right.
Don't make us roll the Oscar news. Don't make us play the music either.
To this empty bottle of Hennessy is gone.
Bro.
Also, shout out to me not having a lighter right now, so I can't smoke no weed. So after this, I'm probably gonna go to the store. So shout out to that local store for not IDing me. I ain't gonna say what store it is. We just gonna keep it 100. And that's about all I got this week.
Nah, nigga, you forgot
Just
somebody
fuck
last
everybody.
week. You forgot somebody last week, nigga. You
I
better
swear to
remember.
God, I did. And I'm gonna forget them this week too, because they the ones that took the lighters and they left.
Okay.
going,
Kennawayne, man. You got it, bro.
First off, everybody drink Henny, but you know, we gotta have a palm. There we go.
He
palm
ghetto.
Hey, throw some of that hoe in.
Hey, been drinking it with the sweet and sour, the pineapple. Man, yes, I'm ghetto. Fuck y'all.
Hey, I'm gonna pull up in like 35 minutes.
I bet. Door open, fam. Always. No,
Cosby hit ass.
First off, there's a lot of niggas been in the DMs. We appreciate it.
Pause. Big pause.
Throwing tracks, my nigga, throwing tracks my way. Let me finalize what I was gonna say.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna preface this. We'll look at your tracks, my nigga. But we're gonna give you constructive criticism. Don't go crying if all of us say that shit's a 4 or 5.
Y'all see what we giving these real artists out here? These artists that made it.
I know fucking 3s.
Don't say these niggas is hating. Nah, I'm not hating. Your shit just better be trash. So before you push sin, nigga, think about that. Yeah, but shout out to my nigga Nick. He wanted to get on the show. I told this nigga never, because when I asked him his top 3 Nas albums, he gave me a little Nas track. But shout out to my nigga Nick. So I told him I shout him out because he'll never get on this motherfucker.
Good shit.
But hey, shout out to everybody again that's in the comments, liking, subscribing that shit. We've been listening to it. I guess last week Henny won on his list. Man, fuck this nigga. But at least Zoe didn't win, so that's what really matters. And I'm out.
Crystal, man, you got it.
Yes.
First female guest.
First of all,
give a hand for that.
I feel so grateful, privileged to be included in this episode. This is what, the 5th?
Yeah,
the 5th episode. Yeah, I was excited. I was really excited, and I'm glad. I'm glad I was able to be a part of this. And I'm about to go watch a movie right now.
You better give some shout outs. You know damn well you better give some shout outs.
Give some shout outs for what?
Oh,
Look, we'll leave it at that.
Never mind.
I'm like, I forgot for who.
Right?
Peeps.
You said fuck them peeps.
I know. I was like, I'm like, they. I'll give some shout outs for myself when I put out my own shit, because you know, y'all know that I sing. But
okay.
I'm about to, you know, this is my year, even though coronavirus kind of took it over, but whatever.
Are you gonna start a channel? Do you have a channel? Do you have SoundCloud?
We're not gonna talk about my channel yet because it's not there yet. I got my mic. I just bought my mic. I'm gonna.
Okay.
I need to buy my.
So you didn't use your mic today for why?
True.
Got him.
Dude, damn, dude, I really should have known. No,
wow.
but that's coming soon. That'll come in the future. I gotta upgrade. So
you're gonna put us all on a track.
We always want to thank everybody for each and every view, each and every like. Don't forget to like and subscribe, of course, as always, man. We really enjoy it. We are super happy to have crystallljade on today, man. I think she brought a fresh new perspective, and it's always great having the fair sex on as well. Last things, you just gotta let the truth win, like I said last week. And I think this is a time where we can all really come together. Hopefully change is around the corner, but I don't think change ever happens overnight. And I think before anyone is ever upset at anyone who's protesting, I think you have to be a lot more upset with the loss of life. Let's keep the focus on treating people humanely and not taking the loss of life so lightly. I think any day I would prefer a building being burnt straight to the ground than to for a human being to be killed. But either way, man, we enjoy it. We'll be back next week, right back at this time. Until then, peace.
Peace.